So in this video, I actually want to talk about something a little bit different than I normally talk about on my YouTube channel. And honestly, as of right now, I was actually thinking about making a brand new YouTube channel just for topics that I'm very interested in, or news articles that I find very appealing or very interesting to me. But honestly, I think I'm going to keep every single video still on my main YouTube channel. I was going to do that, but the main reason I'm not doing that, for instance, is because I don't think I can handle controlling another YouTube channel. I just think it'll be too much work for me, so I'm not going to be doing that. So everything's going to be on my main YouTube channel, and I also think it'll be good for my YouTube channel. And don't worry, I'll still be pumping out the gaming and technology news, but I'm going to be focusing more on a little bit different stuff, and there will be more videos to come because I love talking about different things. And honestly, I think this is also good even if you're not interested in the video I'm about to talk about, because you may be scrolling around your subscription box and you may find this video if you're subscribed to me, and you may be interested in it. So basically what I'm saying is, to break things down, is you may find stuff that you would normally never hear about if it wasn't for me making these videos anyway, and you may be interested. And if you're not interested, just don't click on the video at all. That sums that up. And like I said, I have enough videos pumping out that these videos won't matter. You'll probably miss them since I make videos almost every single day. But anyway, what am I going to be talking about in this video? Well, I'm actually going to be talking about something that you're probably not expecting me to talk about. If you've seen the title of this video, of course, then you know exactly what this video is about to be about. But anyway, let's actually talk about Game of Thrones Season 8, specifically the final season of Game of Thrones. Now, I have to keep it real with you guys. Unfortunately, I am not into Game of Thrones, so I don't know anything about Game of Thrones, and I know a lot of you out there may rip me a new one when it comes to this, but I think I have every right to talk about what I'm about to talk about, because I think what I'm about to say does apply. And once you hear what I'm about to say about this news article or this story that came out about Game of Thrones, then you'll know exactly what it is. So basically, what's going on with Game of Thrones Season 8 specifically? Well, basically what's going on with Game of Thrones Season 8 specifically is the fact that a lot of people are just not happy with the way Game of Thrones Season 8 is going, and a lot of people are saying it may potentially even be one of the worst seasons of Game of Thrones, even though it is the final. A lot of people said it did not live up to their expectations. I don't know which episode, but one of the last few episodes that came out, people were just not happy about, and people were so furious about that it said it ruined their experience, and they were really disappointed in the way it was handled, that now if you go on the internet, there's actually a petition for Game of Thrones, and people actually want Game of Thrones to be rewritten, specifically the final season of Game of Thrones. They want all new writers to write Game of Thrones Season 8 since it's not living up to expectations. Actually, when you look up this petition online for Game of Thrones Season 8 petition, you'll actually see the article itself does specifically say that the writers are not good writers, and they're pretty much bashing the writers for not doing a good job for Game of Thrones. But as far as I'm aware, when it comes to Game of Thrones Season 8 specifically, apparently some of those directors and some of those writers on Season 8 specifically are working on some of the upcoming Star Wars films. So basically what I'm saying is, what pretty much happened with Game of Thrones Season 8 specifically is, it looks like they are rushing Game of Thrones Season 8, and that can also be that's also probably why the quality is not up to snuff, and that's why so many people are disappointed. But you can't really blame the creators, because if they have to do big projects like Star Wars in the upcoming years, then of course they're going to rush their project, and it wouldn't live up to expectations, and it probably wouldn't even live up to what those creators are normally doing when it comes to Game of Thrones and the quality of Game of Thrones, just because it's being altered by the fact that they have to rush out. So they're not making the best quality product that they could normally make, just because they have other projects that they need to get to as fast as possible. So that doesn't help, and I'm pretty sure that information leaked out on the internet, and since people found out about that, of course it makes people even more mad that they just want to sign this petition that's going on the internet. Now, at the time of this recording and this video, there is already close to 1 million people who want a brand new Season 8. They've already signed this petition, and they're hoping that HBO and the writers will actually listen to them. Do I think this is actually going to go through? Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think they're actually going to waste their time going through and making a whole new Season 8 just for this petition. It would cost them way too much money, and like I said, the directors of that have to work on Star Wars, and if they were to get new directors and new writers for Season 8 specifically, I think it would just cost way too much money to find new ones, and how can you find new people to make a brand new one? I think it is what it is, unfortunately. Now for me personally, how do I actually feel about this, and what is my full reaction to people actually bashing a season 8 and wanting a whole brand new season 8? Honestly, if you ask me, I do have an opinion on this when it comes to the entertainment industry, the gaming industry, the music industry as a whole. Honestly, for me, I don't need to watch season 8 to see how bad it is. Of course, my opinion may be altered if it was me watching season 8 and I was a longtime Game of Thrones fan, but I think for me personally, when it comes to recreating things, I want them left the way they are. I've watched a lot of movies in my lifetime, of course. I've also played a lot of games in my lifetime. I listened to a lot of music and I read a lot of books, and what I can say in my lifetime specifically, I can't think of one time I ever wanted something to be redone. I leave it the way it is. Even if I'm super disappointed about my experience at the end, I just want it unaltered, because ultimately I don't see any point, and honestly I want it the way the creators had it designed. I know season 8, they might have done something super crazy that's just utterly messed up and just doesn't make sense for the series of Game of Thrones, because honestly I cannot say from a fan aspect, like I said, I'm not into Game of Thrones, nor have I even gave it a chance, so I don't know how passionate these people are, but these people who are Game of Thrones fans must be super passionate about Game of Thrones to actually want a brand new season 8 out of it. That's how passionate they are. But I don't think there's anything I'm passionate about so much that I need to sign a petition and go out of my way in my lifetime to actually alter the way it is. And honestly, I don't want things altered for me personally, because it would ruin the experience. Let's say for instance, one of my favorite games was horrible and I've been waiting like my whole lifetime for this game to come out, and once I finally got it, I was super disappointed. If they actually ended up making a brand new game and altering the story or altering the gameplay or making it live up to my expectations, it would still bother me for the rest of my life anyway, because it's not what they intended on. They're pretty much just going out of their way to make a brand new season 8 just because the fans want it. So basically what I'm saying is it won't be as good as it should be, because they're just going out of their way to make it, and that's not good. Now when it comes to the actual actors, when it comes to the actual directors, the writers of season 8 of Game of Thrones, it must be really hard for them, knowing if they ever seen this article online, knowing that for some reason people are really mad about Game of Thrones. If I was the part of the crew who's part of Game of Thrones season 8, it would kind of make me kind of mad that people are bashing me so much, and for a project that I worked almost a lot of time on when it comes to Game of Thrones. And I know that Game of Thrones is one of the most beloved TV shows of all time at this point, and it's one of the best shows ever made for so many people. It just gotta suck as them knowing that people are bashing me. I put a lot of energy, I put a lot of creative thinking behind Game of Thrones and things like that, and for people to bash my work really does suck. So if I was one of the persons behind it, I would be devastated at this point that so many fans want a brand new season 8. But then on another hand, I wouldn't be so devastated too much, because you do have to realize if people are actually going out of their way in their life to have a petition for Game of Thrones season 8, I would actually be kind of happy too, even if they're bashing my work and even if they want reworks, because that means they're so passionate about Game of Thrones and they loved it so much that they're willing to go out of their way to have a brand new season 8. That means my previous work must have lived up to expectations and lived up to the hype that they love my previous work. They just want brand new work. So overall, what do you think about Game of Thrones season 8 and people wanting a brand new Game of Thrones season 8? Would you sign the petition for a brand new Game of Thrones season 8, or would you not care and just want it unaltered and things like this? Again, my opinions are a little bit altered because of course I have not seen Game of Thrones at all, nor do I know what's going on in Game of Thrones season 8, and even if I watch the show, I don't think I would be a hardcore fan that my opinion still wouldn't matter as much as some people that are so passionate about this. So there's just my thoughts and opinions about this whole situation and about this petition that's currently going on the internet about Game of Thrones season 8 and being it all we worked. Anyway guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News signing out.